Oh, David,
gosh.
you play on Florida, right?
Yes. The tale of Barkevius Oswald in the mountains shall last an eternity.
Yeah, him and
Or
Mike are.
until, next season.
Yeah, him and Mike are. I mean, like killing it down there. It's crazy how well they've been playing. I mean, I really do think that's why we have one of the best defenses in the league is because of them tearing it up on that line.
Listen, it's hard to find good defensive lines. Nebraska's
Yeah.
got a really good one. Their defense has been pretty good. And so that's
Very good.
It's hard to find good defensive ends. So, the Nebraska secondary could use a little work, but the defense.
Welcome to this week's CFSL in Shambles podcast.
I guess at this point, what I'll do is I'll introduce myself. I'm JoJo. We're here at the In Shambles podcast. We got our good friend taking over for DW. He's out there practicing football with some young kids, helping them breed into hopefully the NCAA Not 14. Thank you to all the 22 subscribers this week. I was able to get us a new sign here in Shambles with David Roy. It was expensive, but that is our budget, and we're here professionally doing this. But Hunky, will you go ahead and tell us who you are?
I am Hunky Dory, also known as Rick. I'm not fancy like Mike, David, and Alan, though, so I'm still Hunky Dory now in the CFSL. I think if you said Rick, a lot of people, I know every time in the YouTube comments, they'll be like, we got Rick watching in, and some people just like, I don't know who that is.
Honestly, now it makes sense because I hear him say it, but I'm like, yo, who's Rick? But I don't say it because it's someone, obviously.
Well, I use Keep Up for every other username except this league, and y'all all know me as Hunky Dory. It's way too late to change it now, so yeah. My YouTube name is like Hunky Dory Rick now. So, but I'm in too deep. But I am obviously the AD of Florida. I was slightly the AD of Iowa for a little while. That was a season.
Listen, we don't talk about those days.
When was that?
The cursed days. Season 3, 4, and 3, and then the end of 4. I would think I was on Iowa, but took over towards the end of season 4. I beat Oregon in our bowl game too by messing up how I did my settings. So there's that.
Y'all know me. I'm Dorian, aka known as Tim Cope in the league. Started to become active in season 7, so now everyone in the league knows me and likes to tease me about my drops that I've had this season.
Just Dorian, remember that.
Yeah, just Dorian.
Go ahead. Who do we got with us here today, Dorian? Your best friend that you tag every day, all day.
Oh yeah, I ask him how he's doing every day. We have the Assistant Commissioner, the former AD of Ohio State, and the voice of the CFSL, David Roy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, not much.
A little intro about you. We don't know you. We really don't.
The mystery of David shall remain impure. Look, man, I've been here since day one. I started as the AD of Ohio State, and early into season 3, season 4, moved up to be able to have the opportunity and the time to be able to help out with the league, give the time to be able to make things run more smoothly, and haven't looked back since. It's when the assistant commissioner role got added on, and since then we've just been growing at a steady clip, growing at a steady pace, and trying to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as it can. So I do a lot with the content. I do a lot of the play-by-play nowadays. I didn't start that way, but I do a lot of it now, and here we are, season 8, getting close to hangout, the second hangout in CFSL history.
Yeah, I mean, this whole COV stuff is killing people, but I am willing to, and so is Amy, to come out there. If I feel like that list that's there gets bigger, me and Amy will go. We're like, okay, if 10 people go, we're going. Like, that's our number. So if 10 people get there, we're going. If 10 people don't go, not that like it means anything, but we just don't want to drive 24 hours there. So,
sure. No, we understand. It's we live in uncertain times, but one thing that is a certainty, the CFSL.
Yeah, and that's why we're here, and that's why everybody's enjoying it. without this or, any of this, I think a lot of people would be like bored as hell. At least I would be. And I'm sure all of you guys, well, you guys have been doing this before. I transitioned to this once sports ended, and I was a fan last year, and then, kind of grew into really liking this. And here I am looking like this, schmuck. But besides that, David, I really was worried you weren't coming out. I was super like, oh, I'm telling you, after you got called out, Dorian's like, what did David say? What did David say? What did David say? I can show you the text. I'm actually going to put it on here so everybody can see the 15 messages he asked me about David.
David. David. David.
He's kind of man crush or something. But
No, I just wanted to know.
I could tell.
I had people DMing me, be like, if David doesn't come on, can I come on instead?
That's why Hunky's here. Thank you, Hunky, for filling in for DW.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I've been watching since episode 1, and my boy Dorian been messaging me every day about it too. So pumped.
So I'm going to start off with one question before the end of the segment, David. I want to ask this question. It's not going to be about punters. It's not going to be about offensive linemen because everybody knows how much I want that. But now the other day I was thinking about it, and I'm a stat person. I like stats, and I look at stats, and I'm always looking on the website here and there, and I'm like, damn, I was like, there's no single season record stat. I don't see it on the website. Maybe I'm dumb. I see career, I see individual, but what about season records? Is that something that could come? Is that something or you can go back? That was my question.
So the way things worked out beforehand, we had a record book. It was kept in a drive sheet, and it tracked. We had single game, we had season stats there as well, and we still have some of those records that are up there. I'm not sure if it's been updated in a while in the last couple of seasons. But what I can say is that it is something that we're working on, that we are looking at, and that we're trying to be able to bring in within the next season or so.
Okay. Yeah. So it's something you guys do have on file. It's just not for the public, is what you're saying.
We have looked at it, and we're trying to figure out a way to make sure that it works. It works without breaking everything else on the website. So it is being looked at. We are taking a look at it, and we will see if we can make it work, and if not, we'll find a way around it. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I just want to see Dorian's most drops season 8. I will pin it on his thing every show forever. So that's the real reason. So I mean, I
Dorian, man.
if that's a thing, but sorry, Dorian.
Next season, it won't be a thing.
Listen, Cope's a drop away from matching what he had last season. So, and that was in 8 games. Huh?
He had 9 last season?
He had 8 last season.
8? Okay. I'm sorry. I knew it was really up there, but I didn't know what.
He had 8 last season. He's got 7 this season. Funnily enough, that is not the most drops we've ever seen in a season. So there is that.
What is it? Who is it? When was it?
It was an Notre Dame wide receiver.
It's been a couple of seasons, but we had a player get close to 20.
Oh.
20 drops in a season.
Aw.
Go
Okay.
figure. It was a 3-star. So, don't be a 3-star. You don't have that problem.
Don't beat yourself up on it. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll take a 2-minute break, take a piss, whatever we got to do, grab a drink, whatever. But in this next segment, Hunky's going to lead us into some questionnaires because this whole thing is about harassing David. That's all I want to do. This is all about David. It's not about us. It's about David and the questions for the answers. We are for the people of the CFSL. We will be right back.
Now that you know who we are, let's dive into today's topics. Welcome to In Shambles Podcast.
We're gonna this next segment. We're gonna hop right into this. So let's have Dorian. Sorry, I apologize. I thought Hunky was gonna get it. So now we're gonna switch it because I it up. Don't worry, this is gonna get cut out. But so we're gonna switch the segment of Hunky Dory because I said to people that we were gonna have Hunky Dory introduce us, but I want you to ask David a question. So go ahead and lead us.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break.
Dorian!
Yeah, okay, welcome back from the break. Hope you guys had a nice break. All right. So, David.
Podcast in shambles, man.
I know. So,
Go
David,
ahead.
Shambles is in shambles.
Do it, buddy.
you've been here since you've been in the league that started,
Yeah.
and you've seen it grow over time.
Yeah.
Basically, progressing. It wasn't like this in season 1 at all.
No.
No.
So my question is, how do you see the league in like the next 2 to 3 years going forward?
Oh gosh.
Can we do
So
seasons? Years is a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be like eight seasons, 8 or 12 seasons almost.
So
Yeah,
in the span of 2 years, right? Because CFSL started last year in about May is when season 1 hit. And so we will probably get through about 9 seasons in the span of 2 years. So you're asking 2 to 3 years out. So I mean that's the span of, another 9 season plus, maybe another 4 or so.
Hangouts.
I mean, you're looking at about 13 seasons
Jeez.
from now, and so that's difficult to track. In a big part of that because keeping ADs, we don't know what's going to come up, and we don't know what the road ahead would entail, and so we have a good group of ADs, and we think a lot of them are going to stick around for a while. We don't know what the future looks like. But that said, conversations have happened behind closed doors that we are preparing for a lot of different things that are coming up, and not just 10 seasons out or a couple years out, but over the span of the next 2 to 3 seasons. There's things that we would like to do. There's aspects of broadcast that we'd like to be able to increase. There's things within the league that we'd like to be able to change, to address. I mean, my gosh, we're 8 seasons in, and going into season 9, we just added 41 new archetypes. Now, some of those are archetypes that are returning seasons past, but a lot of new archetypes, a lot new versatility, the aspect of fatigue coming in to the season this year. It's just, we're always looking at ways in which that we can adapt, that we can evolve, and that we can help things to grow and continue to improve as a league going forward.
So I feel like you beat around the bush a little. Can you give us one?
I could, but then I'd be fired. And so no, I will not.
Oh gosh.
Listen.
Hey, I gotta ask.
I hate you from my head to my toes.
Listen. Some of the best surprises are the things that you don't see coming, and so we're excited for Hangout. We're excited to get through this season. We're excited for next season too, and we will continue to be that case. We're excited for the chances that come with that, and we're excited to see all the new faces that will come into the league during the off season.
For example, I'm excited. In 3 years, I get to come down to Texas one day.
Yeah, see, there you go. Hangout is a special event.
Is that what you were asking? It's like, you want to know what it's going to be like when you get to go to do Hangout?
It's gonna be. We knew this kid when he was playing high school football. Now he's playing college ball.
Do you have O'Douls? You guys got O'Douls? I'm just.
Oh God, man.
Listen, I mean, in 2 to 3 years, by the time Hangout gets here, I mean, my gosh, man, who knows? We may have to rent out an entire hotel to have Hangout, and may have to have this whole big, I mean, my gosh, in 2 to 3 years, Hangout could be a week-long festival for the CFSL. Who knows in 2 to 3 years?
Boom! Mind blown. Recruit week, Hangout. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. That'd be a nightmare.
So what you're saying is, we could just hand out sanctions right then and there. That's what I'm hearing.
Might as well.
Make our life easier, I guess.
I'm sure you got some good questions here.
What's up? Oh, am I up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I heard Dorian laughing over it. This is something I've noticed over the years, and I'm curious. I know you've mentioned it on the while doing commentary before, David. Do you believe in the curse of the commentator? Because I can't even think of how many times in a game, the second you point out, wow, Maddie hasn't thrown a pick in like 2 games or so. Boom, next play, interception, and probably for a touchdown. So does it? Not only do you believe in it, and do you sometimes not say something you're thinking because you're scared it's going to happen?
So there was a point in time where it never failed. So when I was not doing play-by-play, when I was doing color commentary, I would make a comment and something wrong would happen and it would never fail. And so it just became the running joke in chat that anytime I would say something, there'd be a problem. And people would dread what I would say in fear of the curse of the commentator. As seasons have gone on, though, and as we've seen certain things unravel and unfold, that hasn't exactly been the case. And part of that is because certain streaks have to end. It just, nobody can be perfect for forever, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, after a certain point in time, something is going to go wrong. A defense is going to make a great play. The wide receiver is going to, mess up. And a lot of it is just, it comes down to matchups, right? It comes down to the matchups. It comes down to the settings on the other side of the ball. You can go perfect in the regular season, but all it takes is one team to catch you or for you to second guess. And the longer a streak goes, and we see it all the time, not just in the league, but in reality as well, that dude, streaks of perfection, streaks of flawlessness, you start to think about it a little bit more. And from an AD perspective and from a coaching perspective, we have seen guys will start to second guess and guys will start to dread, in part because of the locker room. Well, what happens when that first loss finally hits? What happens when we drop that first loss? All this to come back full circle is to say, look, man, sometimes it's just the wrong night. It's the bad up. It's a great defensive line. It's a great play by the defense. And, we joke about it and we say, oh, the commentator's curse. But, dude, sometimes it's just because the other side of the ball, they got their settings dialed in. They got the right personnel. The personnel made the great play. But, everybody wants something to blame. They don't want to give credit to the other team. So you know what? I am more than happy to take responsibility to say, yes, I am the reason your quarterback threw an interception because he hasn't thrown one in 4 weeks.
I think David
that
takes over the
Miami?
controller for those plays. I think he picks up the controller real fast for those.
I hold the triangle button to pick the pass off just real quick, and you know what? I'm sick of seeing Ray Tatum just throw so many touchdowns.
Oh my
throw an
God.
interception for a change. Oh, here we go, finally, and then he'd throw 3 a game to end his career.
Yeah.
Wait, what about the 5 interception game he had? Did you just click Y so many times?
No, so there's been a couple of those games in CFSL history. The first one was my Ohio State's DJ Moss, who threw 6 interceptions in a game, which also stands as a single game record for most picks ever thrown in a game. Also, it's how Terrell Solo is the single game holder for most picks in a game. And that is just because it was a bad idea to run the settings that we did against the Notre Dame defense at the time because their secondary was so fantastic and we didn't have the weapons for that. But we tried it. And it blew up spectacularly. Lesson learned.
Well, I guess we know that your quarterback throws interceptions, so you're on that leader, and we know that a cornerback holds another record. Forever, we will always look at that as David Roy's choice.
Yes, we will.
Dave, I'm sure you have a question for any of us, maybe all of us, maybe the people, because we are for the people today. I want a good question. I want one question. You can ask any of us. We'll all talk.
Sure, and let's open this up to everybody. Look, all of you have been around for some degree, some longer than others, but you've all also had the time to be able to go back and look through CFSL history. You've seen all the teams that we've had. Some teams have come and gone, and that happens. Some teams have been here since the very beginning. Now, one question, and it's technically a two-parter. What is the one team in CFSL history that you wish you could play for? And what is the one team in CFSL history that you wish you could have played against? So this would be teams that are no longer here.
I'm not going to start.
Ooh.
I know who mine is, but go ahead, guys.
I'll start mine. I would have I would have played against season 2 Hawaii because that team. I went back and looked at their stats. They were just killing it. Like, although their final game they went up against Ohio State and they blew them out early, but then Ohio State got into overtime because a 3-star made a catch to set up field goal range.
So, what team would you want to play for then?
What team would I want to play for? Boise State, season 1.
Yeah.
So,
But there's already a 4-star wide receiver on that squad. I don't know if you can really bench that.
He has
dude. He
If I
was such a
ever
stud.
see the Smurf turf again, I will not be happy.
No, Ricky Jordan left an impact, man. He had 1 touchdown. I mean, you can't beat that. It's like 2 career touchdowns. How can you even touch that? I mean,
Well, my guy's on pace for 10.
Oh boy, now we're getting into this contest.
Who?
oh gosh.
You've been here a minute, so let's pick a team you weren't on and a team you didn't play against.
Ooh, I would love to play against. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what season it was. I think it was 3. I'm trying to double check. Yeah, season 3 Tennessee. That defense was just something else that season. They had Ronald McFish, who was like the #1 overall defensive prospect, and after the I think it was the Army Navy, like the newcomer game, he was, I mean, just on fire just the whole season. And I would have loved to see our defense like take on their defense. I mean, they still put up like 40-something points a game, so their offense wasn't a pushover at all. But I would have loved to play against them. As far as who I would like to have played for, honestly, I wish I'd played for Auburn at some point, just some point over the years. I mean, Pack seems like, he's a great dude, and, every interaction I've had with him has been great, but I would have loved to have been a part of his locker room, even for just 1 season. I mean, I think he recruited me before I came to Iowa as a quarterback, right outside linebacker, halfback. But I think he recruited me to play outside linebacker, and I kind of wish, I'm glad where I'm at. I love Florida, love being here, and I probably wouldn't, be here if it weren't for having to take over Iowa and everything. But, man, I would have loved to play for Pack. I think that would have been pretty fun.
It's funny you say you want to play for Pack. Last year was my first year actually watching it. I've gone back and watched and looked at stats. I wanted Auburn to lose all season. Sorry, Matt. I just hate perfection. I hate Texas right now. I think they're great, but I can't wait for 2 weeks. I'm Nebraska. I love underdogs, right? So I'm a Jets fan. I'm every team that sucks fan.
Ooh, man.
It's hurtful. So, I would love to play against last year's Auburn at some point before their first loss. I think we now have the quarterback at the defensive tackle, and he's doing great on our D-line. But I would want to play against, as a defender, I want to play against a person like that. A team that I would like to
play against them.
Huh?
If you played against them, you can catch a game-winning touchdown pass.
You don't talk about bad memories that you cried all night to me about until 3 a.m.
No, I didn't do that.
Look, you're about to cry right now. But the one team I do want to play for and want to see come back, and it may not be this team, but I think we do need a Northeast team. And I liked Penn State. I wasn't here for Penn State. I know they were horrible. I seen the record. I just feel like we're very south or very west. I think we're over there. I think we just need some love in the north. And I'm from New Jersey, so I like the whole Northeast. I hate Penn State, but I do want some North. So
You're a fan of disappointment. That's what I'm hearing right now.
yeah,
Goodness gracious.
yeah, it's pretty brutal. The life I live.
In Shape or In Shambles, a segment where we ask the hard. Hey, look, let me just interrupt all this right here. Look, I'm not there this week. I don't know if they're going to ask hard questions. I don't even know if they're going to answer any questions. We don't never know what JoJo and Dorian's going to do. So, you guys, I'm sorry, but stay tuned. Hopefully this next segment's all right. Hopefully, right? Maybe. But, hey, I'll be back next week. Let's find out now who's in shape and who's
So I
in
guess,
shambles.
what we're gonna do is we were gonna do in shape and in shambles. We're gonna skip the whole in shape or in shambles for one reason. My boy David isn't here, and a moment of silence. Okay. So he'll be back next week, I promise.
Oh,
We're gonna go to the call out section here. Dorian, I want you to lead us into the rules. We'll all make a rule together, and these rules just pretty much mean we don't want the same people every time. We don't want any of that. So we're trying to make some sanctions so that we don't overlap. But go ahead, Dorian. Tell us the rules and let David lead us into the call out.
First rule is you can't call somebody out on your own team. Second rule is can't pick the same position. Third rule is can't be anyone you played against. And fourth rule is can't be a same jersey number. So,
David, you got a fifth rule maybe? I mean, anybody?
yes.
got
I can't call out another commissioner.
I mean, I think we should make it more broad and make it like staff. Like no Alan, no Tom.
No Stearns.
Are they-
Neil
are
then
they on
too.
the staff? I don't know who's on the staff. I'm just
Stearns
thinking.
technically are technically staff. They help with the profiles, but that's about it.
So they're not.
They have not been given such a special role yet.
I would think it'd be
Not
like
earned it.
Alan,
They're
Tom,
only
and
interim ADs.
Neil will probably be the main like three staff.
Yeah,
you know.
Neil. Yeah. So let's go with staff then, not commissioner because there's only two and staff. Let's make it a whole.
Okay.
Go ahead, David.
Listen, you guys got to get some more ADs on here. I mean, my gosh, man, you guys got to work on getting some more of these ADs in here. Listen, there's a great list of guys who are out there that would, I think, be more than on both players and ADs. It's a lot of the ADs have some excellent stories to be able to share. Now, since you have the rule that I can't call anybody out that I've played against, I can't call out some of the ADs who I think you guys should
I was
have
about to
on
say,
here.
yeah.
So,
We're talking this season though, not overall. This season.
it still doesn't help me.
Okay, we can change it.
Because some of the ADs who have been here for such a long time, they have such great stories that they can share with you. Some of which have been written out, but they have such wonderful stories to be able to share and impart. And I mean, my gosh, the joke at one point became that between Matt, Mike, and myself, we are the league historians. We just know everything. You ask the question of when did this happen?
I noticed.
One of us will find it. One of us knows, and we will tell you who pulled it off.
You're like my ex-girlfriend. She's like, remember that time? Sorry.
Oh man, but seriously, I mean, you guys start getting some more ADs on here. That being said, look, I think you got to get Clutch on here at some
Clutch?
point. If
You got to get Clutch.
you got to get Clutch on here. Look, because
Okay.
Clutch, he's a lot like Rick in the sense that these are guys who've been here for a long time, and I think if you get Clutch on, I think it'd be an interesting time.
All right. Well, I
If you
mean,
get Clutch on, we got to do it's going to be the Boise State podcast next
Oh,
week is what it's going to
gosh.
be.
oh, geez.
More
Everybody's background is the blue turf.
You know what? I'm going to do my Boise State jersey next week.
Ooh.
I'll bring my
But
sunglasses.
you heard it. The man, David, he called you out. If you don't show up,
We'll Juby you.
don't make me juby you. I had to threaten David. No, I didn't. He said he was coming, but we were worried. I appreciate you coming out, David.
Hey man, anytime. I'll be happy to do it again.
Dorian, obviously, it's always nice to see you. As for this week, no in shape, no in shambles, because we're all in shape. And until next week, I guess we'll be seeing you, Clutch. Don't be scared. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Man, thank goodness the podcast is finally over. Tell you what, y'all are lucky. I know you guys didn't really probably enjoy this podcast too much this week. Maybe something was missing. I'm going to tell ESPN that I'm going to hold off on coming to their podcast for a little bit. I'll see you next week in Shambles Podcast.